Intelligent people prefer to be alone. This isn't just a random idea, it's something we see again and again in history, psychology, and philosophy. Some of the greatest minds, like Friedrich Nietzsche, Isaac Newton, and Nikola Tesla, spent much of their time in solitude, not because they disliked others, but because they found greater satisfaction in their own thoughts. While many people seek constant social interaction, highly intelligent individuals often find it exhausting. They prefer to spend time alone, thinking, reflecting, and creating without distraction. This isn't about shyness or loneliness. It's about choice. The more intelligent someone is, the more aware they become of life's complexities. They see beyond the surface, question everything, and often struggle to find people who think the same way. Small talk, gossip, and trivial conversations can feel frustrating or pointless to them. Instead of wasting energy on things that don't interest them, they'd rather use their time for deep thinking, learning, or working on something meaningful. Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone." This idea captures something fundamental about intelligence. To truly think for yourself, you need space. Many of the most revolutionary ideas in history were developed in solitude. Whether it was Nietzsche's philosophy, Tesla's inventions, or Newton's discoveries, these individuals needed time alone to explore their thoughts fully. When you're constantly surrounded by people, it's easy to be influenced by their opinions. Solitude allows intelligent people to think freely, without pressure from the outside world. But this preference for being alone is often misunderstood. Some see it as arrogance, others mistake it for antisocial behavior. But it's neither. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. There's a huge difference. Lonely people feel disconnected, wishing they had company. But those who choose solitude aren't lacking anything. They simply enjoy their own space more than the noise of social life. Of course, this isn't to say that intelligent people dislike all human interaction. They can enjoy deep conversations and meaningful relationships. The key difference is that they prefer quality over quantity. They don't need to be surrounded by people all the time, and they won't force themselves into social situations just to fit in. Instead, they carefully choose when and with whom they engage. In this video, we'll explore the deeper reasons behind this phenomenon. We'll look at the psychology of intelligence and social exhaustion, the philosophy that supports the need for solitude, and why some of the greatest minds in history have chosen to live this way. We'll also discuss both the benefits and the challenges of a more solitary life. Because for many intelligent people, solitude isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It's not about escaping from the world, it's about having the space to think, grow, and truly be themselves. Intelligence can be a great gift, but it also comes with a heavy price. The smarter a person is, the more they notice things others overlook. They see patterns, contradictions, and deeper meanings in everyday life. While most people accept the world as it is, intelligent individuals ask questions. They wonder why things work the way they do, why people behave in certain ways, and whether life has a deeper purpose. This constant thinking makes it hard to enjoy simple, everyday conversations. While some people can talk for hours about gossip, trends, or small talk, intelligent individuals often feel disconnected from these discussions. Their minds crave something deeper: ideas, philosophy, science, or art. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche believed that people who seek knowledge and truth often find themselves alone. He described the higher man, someone who refuses to blindly follow the crowd. Instead, they think for themselves and challenge common beliefs. But this comes at a cost. The more someone questions and analyzes the world, the harder it is to relate to those who don't. Arthur Schopenhauer took this idea further. He believed that intelligence and suffering go hand in hand. Why? Because the smarter a person is, the more they see life's struggles. Many people distract themselves with entertainment, socializing, or simple pleasures. But highly intelligent individuals can't ignore life's deeper questions. They need time alone to think and explore ideas that others might not even consider. Smart people don't just think more deeply, they also think differently. They often notice things that others don't, which can make them feel like they don't fully fit in. This isn't because they dislike people, but because their way of seeing the world is unique. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is having the same conversation they've had 100 times before. They talk about the weather, their weekend plans, or the latest celebrity news. If you're highly intelligent, you might struggle to engage, not because you think you're better than them, but because your mind is wired for deeper conversations. You want to talk about human nature, space exploration, psychology, or philosophy. But finding people who think the same way can be rare. This creates a sense of existential isolation, a feeling of being separate from others, even when surrounded by people. Intelligent individuals often crave deep, meaningful discussions, but they rarely find them in day-to-day life. Over time, they might withdraw and prefer their own company, where they can explore their thoughts freely. The philosopher Albert Camus spoke about the absurd, the idea that humans search for meaning in a world that doesn't provide clear answers. Most people find comfort in traditions, routines, and belief systems that give them purpose. But highly intelligent individuals tend to question everything. They see that much of what society does is based on habit, not truth. This realization can make social interactions feel frustrating or even pointless at times. For example, many people follow unwritten rules about success, happiness, and relationships without ever questioning them. But intelligent individuals think, what if success isn't about money, but about fulfillment? What if happiness isn't about pleasure, but about meaning? The moment someone starts asking these questions, they begin to see the world differently, and this difference in perspective can create distance from others. One reason intelligent people prefer to be alone is that they see the world in a way that doesn't always match how things actually work. Human society is built on social rules, emotions, and traditions, not pure logic. For a highly intelligent person, this can be frustrating. Take social norms, for example. Many people follow them without question. They celebrate certain holidays, go to parties, or take part in traditions simply because that's what everyone does. But an intelligent mind questions these habits. Why do we celebrate birthdays in this way? Why do people pretend to enjoy conversations that don't interest them? Why do we follow social trends that don't actually improve our lives? This kind of thinking can make life more complicated. Most people don't question these things, they simply go along with them. But intelligent individuals often analyze their own emotions, behaviors, and choices. They don't just feel things, they try to understand why they feel them. This deep level of thinking can make relationships and social situations more exhausting. Another reason socializing can be difficult is mental fatigue. For some, being around people is energizing. But for highly intelligent individuals, social interactions can be tiring. Their minds are constantly working, analyzing conversations, reading between the lines, and thinking about what to say next. Even a simple gathering can feel like a mental workout. Over time, this exhaustion pushes them towards solitude, where they can recharge. One of the biggest benefits of being alone is the ability to think without distraction. When people are always surrounded by others, it's hard to have original thoughts. Social life brings pressure, whether it's to act a certain way, agree with popular opinions, or follow group behavior. But solitude removes that pressure, allowing the mind to focus freely. Many of history's greatest thinkers have chosen solitude. Isaac Newton made some of his most important discoveries while isolated from society. Nikola Tesla worked alone for long hours, believing that deep thought required peace and quiet. Friedrich Nietzsche spent much of his time walking alone in the mountains, reflecting on his ideas. This isn't about rejecting people, it's about creating an environment where deep thinking is possible. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, notifications, and constant social obligations make it difficult to focus for long periods. Intelligent individuals recognize this and often seek solitude, not to avoid people, but to protect their ability to think deeply. Highly intelligent people prefer to be alone because their minds work in ways that make social life more challenging. They think deeply, analyze everything, and often see the world differently than others. While most people are comfortable with small talk and everyday routines, intelligent individuals crave meaning, depth, and intellectual freedom. Solitude allows them to reflect, recharge, and explore ideas without interruption. It's not that they dislike people, it's that they need time alone to truly be themselves. In the next section, we'll explore another major reason why intelligent people prefer solitude: their strong desire for independence and autonomy. Highly intelligent people value independent thinking. They don't like being told what to believe or how to live. Instead, they question everything and form their own opinions. They don't just accept ideas because they're popular. They need real reasons to believe in something. Most people tend to follow the crowd. They go along with traditions, believe what others believe, and avoid asking too many questions. This makes life easier because it helps people fit in. But for intelligent individuals, this kind of blind acceptance doesn't work. They need to think for themselves, even if it means going against what most people accept as true. Friedrich Nietzsche warned about the herd mentality, the way people follow the group without thinking for themselves. He believed that those who rise above the herd often end up alone. Society doesn't always welcome those who think differently. When intelligent people question popular beliefs, they may face criticism or rejection. For example, imagine a smart person who questions the way success is defined. While society says success is about money and status, they may believe it's about fulfillment and personal growth. If they share this view, others might dismiss or ignore them. Over time, they realize that expressing their ideas can create conflict. Instead of constantly having to defend their thoughts, they choose to keep to themselves. This doesn't mean they dislike others. It just means that social life often pressures people to think alike, while solitude allows them to stay true to themselves. Intelligent people enjoy conversations that challenge their thinking. They want to learn new things, share deep ideas, and explore different perspectives. But these types of discussions are rare in everyday life. Most social interactions revolve around small talk, discussing the weather, gossip, or entertainment. While these topics help people connect, they don't always feel meaningful to an intelligent person. For example, imagine an intelligent individual at a gathering where everyone is talking about a reality TV show. While others are engaged and entertained, they may feel bored or disconnected. They might try to steer the conversation toward a more interesting topic, but if no one else is interested, they'll feel out of place. This can be frustrating. It's not that they look down on others, it's just that their minds crave something deeper. They want to talk about psychology, philosophy, or science, but those topics don't always come up in casual settings. Over time, they learn that socializing doesn't always meet their intellectual needs. Instead of spending time in conversations that feel empty, they prefer solitude, where they can read, think, or explore ideas that truly interest them. This doesn't mean they avoid all social interactions. When they find people who enjoy deep discussions, they value those connections deeply. The problem is, those connections are rare, which is why they often turn to solitude. One of the biggest challenges intelligent people face is finding others who think like them. Intelligence isn't just about having a high IQ, it's also about how someone processes the world. They may have unique interests, a different sense of humor, or an unusual way of thinking. This can make it difficult to connect with others. While most people bond over shared experiences, intelligent individuals often feel like outsiders. Imagine a person who loves discussing philosophy, but everyone around them only talks about sports or fashion. If they try to join the conversation, they might struggle to connect. If they bring up a deeper topic, others may not be interested. This constant mismatch in conversation can make socializing feel exhausting. Because of this, many intelligent individuals develop what psychologists call social detachment. They aren't lonely in the traditional sense, they just prefer their own company over interactions that feel forced or unfulfilling. Instead of trying to fit in where they don't belong, they embrace solitude, where they can fully be themselves. Intelligent people don't like relying on others for their happiness or fulfillment. They are naturally independent and enjoy being self-sufficient. Solitude gives them the freedom to focus on their passions, whether it's writing, research, inventing, or creative projects. They don't need constant social interaction to feel satisfied. In fact, too much socializing can take time away from the things they truly care about. This independence also affects how they make decisions. While many people look to others for approval before making big choices, intelligent individuals prefer to think things through on their own. They trust their own reasoning and don't feel the need to follow the crowd. This doesn't mean they reject relationships. They can enjoy deep and meaningful connections. The difference is they don't depend on them for their sense of purpose. They can be happy on their own, which is why they are comfortable spending long periods alone. While solitude gives intelligent people freedom, it also has its challenges. One of the biggest is loneliness. Even though they enjoy being alone, they still want to connect with others in a meaningful way. The problem is, finding the right people can be difficult. They may go long stretches without meeting someone who truly understands them. And even when they do, circumstances like distance, careers, or personal differences can make maintaining those connections hard. This creates a tough choice. Embrace solitude for freedom, or socialize at the cost of deep thought. Most intelligent people try to find a balance, but it's not always easy. Too much solitude can lead to isolation, while too much socializing can feel draining. One way they manage this is by being selective about their social interactions. They don't avoid people completely, but they're careful about who they spend time with. Instead of forcing small talk, they seek out deeper conversations and meaningful relationships. Highly intelligent people prefer to be alone because they value independent thinking, deep conversations, and self-sufficiency. They resist the pressure to conform, avoid shallow interactions, and struggle to find people who truly understand them. While solitude gives them the freedom to think, create, and grow, it also comes with challenges like loneliness and social detachment. In the next section, we'll explore another major reason why intelligent people choose solitude: the mental exhaustion that comes from constant social interaction. For highly intelligent people, socializing can feel more tiring than enjoyable. While some love being around others, intelligent individuals often find it overwhelming. This isn't because they dislike people, it's because their brains work differently. They don't just hear words in a conversation, they pick up on tone, body language, hidden meanings, and social cues that others might miss. Their minds are constantly analyzing what's happening around them. While others can chat casually without much thought, intelligent people process conversations on a much deeper level. This takes energy. Group settings can be even more exhausting. Conversations move quickly, topics change fast, and there's little time for deep discussions. Highly intelligent people prefer meaningful conversations, but social gatherings often encourage small talk instead. Keeping up with surface-level conversations can feel frustrating. It's like being stuck in a loop of topics that don't really matter. For many intelligent individuals, socializing isn't just about talking, it's about processing. After spending time in a group, they often need time alone to recover. While others leave a social event feeling excited, intelligent people leave feeling drained. Many intelligent people are also emotionally sensitive. They don't just listen to what someone says, they notice how they say it. A slight change in tone, a forced smile, or a pause in conversation can send their mind racing. For example, if someone in a group seems uncomfortable, an intelligent person is likely to pick up on it. They might start wondering, are they feeling left out? Did I say something wrong? Are they upset about something unrelated? Their mind keeps running, analyzing everything happening around them. This sensitivity also makes them dislike fake interactions. They can tell when someone is pretending to be happy, forcing a laugh, or just being polite. While others might not notice or care, intelligent people struggle to ignore it. If a conversation doesn't feel genuine, they don't enjoy it. Because of this, they often prefer to be alone rather than spend time in social situations where people aren't being completely real. They crave deep, honest conversations, but those can be hard to find. Another reason socializing is exhausting for intelligent people is the pressure to follow social norms that don't always make sense to them. Society has unwritten rules: how to make small talk, how to act in different situations, what topics to avoid. Most people follow these rules without thinking, but intelligent individuals tend to question them. For example, small talk is a big part of socializing. People ask, "How are you?" or talk about the weather. For most, this is a natural way to connect, but for an intelligent person, small talk can feel pointless. They would rather skip it and talk about something meaningful. Another challenge is social expectations around emotions. In many cultures, people are expected to always appear happy and positive, even when they don't feel that way. But intelligent people tend to value honesty. They don't like pretending to be happy when they're not. They want real conversations, not forced smiles. This creates a constant internal struggle. Should they follow the social script, even if it feels fake? Or should they be fully themselves and risk standing out? Many find it easier to avoid these situations altogether. Social environments can also be physically overwhelming. Crowds, loud noises, and too many conversations at once can lead to overstimulation when the brain receives too much input at once. For example, imagine an intelligent person at a crowded party. The music is loud, people are laughing, and multiple conversations are happening at the same time. While some might enjoy the energy, the intelligent person's mind is working overtime. They're processing voices, reading body language, and filtering out background noise all at once. This is why highly intelligent people often prefer quiet places. They like small gatherings over big parties, coffee shops over loud bars, and one-on-one conversations over group discussions. It's not that they can't handle socializing, it's that they prefer environments where they can think clearly. After a long social event, highly intelligent people often feel the need to be alone to recharge. Unlike some who gain energy from being around others, intelligent individuals tend to lose energy the longer they interact. This isn't because they dislike socializing. It's because their brains work in overdrive during interactions. They process everything deeply, and that takes a toll. Even if they enjoy spending time with people, they often feel mentally drained afterward. To recover, they turn to solitude. Time alone allows them to reset, think freely, and regain focus. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's just how their minds work. Solitude isn't about avoiding people. It's about creating the mental space needed to function at their best. Highly intelligent people often find socializing exhausting because their minds work in ways that make interactions more intense. They notice every detail, process emotions deeply, and struggle with social norms that don't always feel natural to them. The pressure to conform, the overload of social stimulation, and the need for meaningful conversations make many social settings feel like work rather than relaxation. Because of this, they value their alone time. Solitude gives them the space to think, recharge, and be themselves without the constant mental strain of socializing. In the next section, we'll explore how solitude fuels creativity, and why so many great thinkers, writers, and inventors preferred to work alone. Many of history's greatest minds preferred solitude. Writers, artists, scientists, and inventors often worked in isolation because it helped them focus. But why does being alone boost creativity? One major reason is deep focus. Creativity requires long periods of uninterrupted thinking. When someone is constantly engaged in social interactions, their attention is divided. Conversations, notifications, and daily responsibilities keep the brain occupied with external concerns, leaving little space for deep, original thought. Solitude allows the mind to fully concentrate, making it easier to connect ideas and develop new insights. Another reason is freedom from outside influence. When people spend too much time around others, they naturally absorb their ideas, perspectives, and opinions. This can make it harder to think independently. Being alone allows intelligent individuals to develop their own thoughts, without being shaped by the expectations of others. They can take risks in their thinking, explore unconventional ideas, and create without worrying about how others might judge them. Consider Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors of all time. He spent much of his life working alone because he believed solitude was essential for deep thinking. He once said, "The mind is sharper and keener in seclusions and uninterrupted solitude." Tesla's most revolutionary ideas, including wireless energy and alternating current electricity, came to him while he was completely immersed in his thoughts, free from distractions. Throughout history, many of the most brilliant minds have relied on solitude to develop their ideas. Some of their greatest breakthroughs happened during periods of isolation. Isaac Newton was isolated from society when he developed his theories of gravity and motion. During the Great Plague of 1665, he retreated to the countryside, where he had the time and space to think deeply. Albert Einstein was known for spending hours in quiet reflection. He preferred being alone, as it allowed him to focus on his thought experiments that led to the theory of relativity. Virginia Woolf believed solitude was essential for creativity. She famously wrote about the need for a room of one's own, a private space where a person could think and create without distraction. Friedrich Nietzsche lived much of his life in seclusion, taking long walks alone in the mountains. He believed solitude was necessary for deep philosophical reflection, allowing him to develop some of the most influential ideas in modern philosophy. These individuals didn't avoid people because they disliked them. They valued solitude because it gave them the mental space to think deeply, explore new ideas, and create without interruption. Psychological studies support the idea that solitude enhances creativity. Research has shown that people generate more original ideas when they work alone compared to when they brainstorm in groups. This happens because groups often create social pressure. People hesitate to share unconventional ideas because they fear judgment. When alone, individuals feel free to explore ideas without worrying about what others think. Another study found that solitude allows the brain to enter a state of deep reflection. When a person isn't constantly engaged in conversation or external stimuli, their mind can wander freely. This wandering is what often leads to creative breakthroughs. Many great ideas come not when someone is actively working on a problem, but when they are alone, daydreaming or lost in thought. There's also a connection between solitude and problem solving. When people are alone, their brains can dedicate more energy to solving complex problems. Without the distractions of social interactions, intelligent individuals can focus entirely on finding solutions. This is why many inventors, scientists, and artists prefer to work in solitude when tackling difficult challenges. Highly intelligent people don't just think deeply, they also have strong imaginations. They enjoy spending time in their own minds, exploring ideas, analyzing concepts, and creating new possibilities. For them, solitude isn't empty or boring, it's filled with mental activity. Their inner world is rich, full of thoughts, theories, and possibilities waiting to be explored. Many intelligent individuals are drawn to hobbies that require deep focus and introspection, such as writing, painting, or drawing, coding and software development, music composition, scientific research, philosophy and abstract thinking. These activities require long periods of concentration, which can be difficult to achieve in busy social environments. Even as children, highly intelligent people often show a preference for solo activities. While other kids might enjoy constant social interaction, they are perfectly content spending hours reading, building things, or exploring ideas on their own. This early preference for solitude often continues into adulthood, shaping how they work and think. While solitude is incredibly valuable, too much of it can become harmful. Even the most independent people still need some level of human connection. One of the risks of excessive solitude is losing touch with reality. Some of history's greatest thinkers have struggled with this, spending so much time inside their own minds that they became detached from the world around them. Creativity thrives in solitude, but without social interaction, it's easy to develop ideas that may not be grounded in reality. Another risk is lack of feedback. Creative and intelligent individuals often rely on solitude to generate ideas, but at some point they need external input to refine their work. Even the most brilliant minds have benefited from discussing their ideas with others. For example, Leonardo da Vinci and Albert Einstein both had friends and colleagues with whom they shared and debated their ideas. Finding balance is key. Many intelligent people learn to switch between solitude and socializing. They work alone when they need deep focus, but engage with others when they need fresh perspectives or inspiration. They may spend weeks or months immersed in their work, then seek out meaningful discussions with like-minded individuals to refine their ideas. Beyond just fostering deep thought, solitude has been a driving force behind some of the greatest artistic and scientific breakthroughs in history. In art, solitude allows creators to fully engage with their emotions and express themselves without outside influence. Vincent van Gogh, for example, spent much of his life in isolation, producing some of the most emotionally powerful paintings ever created. His solitude wasn't always voluntary, but it allowed him to develop a unique artistic style that set him apart. In science, solitude provides the mental clarity needed to solve complex problems. Marie Curie, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, conducted much of her groundbreaking research in seclusion. Her ability to work without distraction led to the discovery of radioactivity, changing the world forever. Whether in art, literature, science, or philosophy, solitude has been an essential ingredient in some of humanity's most profound achievements. Solitude fuels creativity by giving intelligent people the space to think, focus, and develop their ideas without distractions. It allows them to explore new concepts, solve complex problems, and create groundbreaking work. Many of history's greatest minds have relied on alone time to develop ideas that changed the world. However, too much solitude can lead to isolation. The key is balance, using alone time for deep work, while staying connected enough to share ideas, gain inspiration, and remain grounded in reality. In the next section, we'll explore the philosophical reasons why intelligent people prefer solitude, looking at how thinkers like Schopenhauer and Nietzsche saw isolation as essential for personal growth. Arthur Schopenhauer, a well-known philosopher, believed that highly intelligent people naturally feel different from others. He argued that most people are focused on simple pleasures, entertainment, gossip, and routine activities. But deep thinkers don't find these things fulfilling. Instead, they are drawn to knowledge, wisdom, and self-improvement. Schopenhauer saw solitude as a sign of strength. He believed that intelligent individuals don't need constant company because they are self-sufficient. They can entertain themselves with ideas, books, and personal projects. He once wrote, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom." For Schopenhauer, solitude wasn't a negative thing. It was a way for intelligent people to think freely without being influenced by others. Friedrich Nietzsche had a similar idea but took it even further. He believed that intelligent people need solitude to grow into their best selves. He introduced the concept of the higher man, someone who thinks beyond the limits of society and challenges traditional ideas. According to Nietzsche, social life often discourages deep thinking. It pushes people to conform, to follow trends, and to avoid questioning things too much. But those who want to discover their true potential need time alone. Only in solitude can they reflect, explore new ideas, and break free from the influence of the crowd. Nietzsche himself spent much of his life in seclusion. He took long walks in the mountains, writing some of his most famous works while completely alone. He once said, "The great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude." For him, solitude wasn't about avoiding people. It was about finding inner strength and becoming truly independent. Schopenhauer and Nietzsche both believed that intelligent individuals don't seek approval from others. Society often teaches that happiness comes from being social, popular, or accepted by a group. But highly intelligent people don't need this kind of validation. They don't feel the need to be part of every conversation or trend. Instead, they focus on their own ideas and personal growth. Social media, status, and popularity don't hold much value to them because they see those things as distractions. This doesn't mean they dislike people. It simply means that they don't depend on others to feel fulfilled. Their happiness comes from within, not from social approval. Many philosophers and spiritual traditions have emphasized the importance of solitude for self-discovery. Being alone gives people time to reflect on their thoughts and emotions, develop their own beliefs instead of following others, work on personal projects without distractions, explore deep questions about life, purpose, and existence. Throughout history, monks, sages, and great thinkers have retreated into solitude to gain wisdom. From Buddhist monks meditating in the mountains to artists and scientists working in isolation, solitude has long been seen as a path to deeper understanding. For intelligent people, alone time isn't about loneliness, it's about growth and self-improvement. One of the biggest reasons intelligent people prefer solitude is freedom. When they are alone, they are free to think deeply without distractions, work on creative projects without interruption, make decisions without worrying about others' opinions, explore new ideas without fear of judgment. Social life comes with expectations. People are often expected to behave a certain way, agree with popular opinions, and follow unspoken rules. Even if no one forces them to conform, just being around others can subtly shape their thoughts and behavior. But when intelligent individuals are alone, they don't have to worry about any of that. They can fully be themselves and think freely. This is why solitude often feels refreshing to them. It's not about avoiding people, it's about creating space to focus on what truly matters. While intelligent people value solitude, they also understand the importance of balance. Even the greatest thinkers in history had meaningful friendships and discussions with like-minded individuals. Nietzsche and Schopenhauer both had a small circle of intellectual companions with whom they shared ideas. They weren't completely isolated, they just chose their relationships carefully. Highly intelligent people do the same. They may not enjoy large social gatherings, but they value deep, meaningful conversations with people who challenge them intellectually. The key is intentional socializing, spending time with people who add value to their lives, rather than forcing social interactions just for the sake of it. Philosophers like Schopenhauer and Nietzsche believed that solitude is essential for intelligent people. It allows them to think freely, grow independently, and focus on what truly matters. Intelligent people prefer to be alone because it gives them freedom, clarity, and personal growth. However, they also understand the importance of balancing solitude with meaningful connections. In the final section, we'll explore how intelligent people can embrace solitude while still leading a fulfilling life, finding the right mix of alone time and social interaction. Intelligent people prefer to be alone, not because they dislike others, but because solitude gives them the space to think, create, and truly be themselves. Throughout history, some of the greatest minds, such as Tesla, Einstein, Nietzsche, and Schopenhauer, have spent long periods in solitude. They did not see alone time as loneliness, but as a necessary part of deep thinking and self-discovery. Solitude allows for deep focus, creative freedom, and independence, all of which are highly valued by those who think deeply and see the world differently. However, while solitude has many benefits, too much of it can become a problem. Even the most independent minds need some level of connection to stay emotionally healthy and engaged with the world. The key is not total isolation, but finding the right balance between solitude and meaningful relationships. Without some level of human interaction, solitude can turn into loneliness, and deep thinking can become overthinking. A lack of social feedback can also lead to a narrow perspective, where intelligent individuals become trapped in their own thoughts without fresh insights from others. For intelligent people, balance comes from intentional socializing. Instead of seeking constant social engagement, they choose their interactions carefully. They prefer quality over quantity, forming a few deep and meaningful friendships rather than maintaining a large social circle. They value conversations that challenge their thinking, expand their knowledge, and allow them to explore ideas rather than engaging in small talk or surface-level discussions. This selective approach to social interaction allows them to stay connected to others without sacrificing the benefits of solitude. Many people assume that preferring to be alone is a sign of weakness or antisocial behavior. Society often places high value on extroversion, encouraging constant social interaction and group participation. However, history shows that many of the world's greatest thinkers, artists, and inventors needed solitude to develop their ideas. Enjoying time alone is not a flaw, it is a strength. Those who embrace solitude are often more independent, self-sufficient, and comfortable in their own minds. They do not rely on others for entertainment or validation, and they find fulfillment in personal growth and intellectual exploration. In a world that is always busy, loud, and full of distractions, solitude is a superpower. It allows for clear thinking, creativity, and personal development in ways that constant socializing does not. It is in solitude that many intelligent individuals do their best work, generate their most original ideas, and gain the insights that shape their personal and professional lives. Ultimately, solitude is about freedom to think, to create, and to grow without limits. For intelligent people, alone time is not about escaping society. It is about reaching their full potential. The key is to embrace solitude without losing connection. Time alone is valuable, but so is the ability to share ideas, learn from others, and build meaningful relationships. In the end, the goal is not to be alone forever, but to find a way of living that is balanced, fulfilling, and true to who they are.